I wasn't too sure how to start this, so I figured maybe the start is just showing up.
Run it up, Blondo. Run it up, Blondo.
African Americans in the United States make up for single digits of PhD holders. I want you to let that sit for a second. Good morning, PhD pals. Did I like that? Good morning. Good morning, y'all. My name is Travis, aka T, aka maybe something else depending on where you know me from. T Jizzle, Tommy G, or if you know me from social media, the Trill Professor on all social media sites, where I drop free game on language literacy, education, writing, competition, feedback, teaching black kids, brown kids, white kids, yellow kids, all kids. So catch me there if you haven't. It gets real nerdy real quick, so I'm telling you in advance. Recently, I've decided to revamp my YouTube channel because I want to do more long form content where the videos are at least 10 to 20 minutes and I get a chance to actually show you days in the life of what it's like to be a professor or to be a curriculum coordinator or to finish up my doctorate. And that's what we're doing right now. I am born and raised in Dallas, Texas. I got an I-35 sign tatted on my shoulder to prove it. I went to school in Oak Cliff and I came back after college to teach in Oak Cliff. I'm a first generation everything, and now I'm attempting to do one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life, which is finish my PhD. I know that when I embarked upon this space, when I embarked upon this journey, the first thing I did was go to YouTube and I was looking for people like me so that I could use them as motivation, and I didn't really find any. I found a lot of medical doctors or nurses, scientists in some regard, but I really couldn't find the niche of a researcher of color attempting to get a humanities advanced degree. And so I said, man, there got to be kids like me that come along. And so if nobody else is pushing out their work, I'm gonna push out my work. It at least reaches that one kid, that two kid that goes to YouTube just like I did and looks for how to become an English professor, or how to become a literacy professor, or the road to becoming a doctor as a person of color. I am embarking on what's called qualifying exams, which we'll get into all of that in my preparation and what that looks like. But it's 4 questions that stand between me being a PhD student, which I'm currently now, and being a PhD candidate, to where I got the green light to go ahead and write my dissertation and conduct original research. So I really want us to just walk through all of that as a community, as a people. Even if you're not trying to be a doctor, you're trying to accomplish something, and we need each other. So you might look at my story and go, "Damn, that dude is working, 20 hours a day, man. Okay, cool. If T can do it, if Coach Hubbard can do it, if Travis can do it, then maybe I can get out there and do it too." Just like I look at other videos that have nothing to do with what I do. I listen to songs that have nothing to do with the life that I'm living, but I use that as a source of motivation. That's just like, when you're in the gym listening to rap songs about selling drugs, you might never even smoke weed in your life, smoke a cigarette, but you be in the gym going hard based off of that motivation. But this is not just about school. It's not just about academics or dissertations or any of that stuff. You don't got to be a part of that group at all. It's about a transfer of motivation and a transfer of discipline and a transfer of celebration, right? Celebration, discipline, and motivation all together, right? Because we are all we got.
And since we are all we got, I want us to do this PhD thing together. Not because I have it all figured out, but because I'm figuring it out in real time. Use me as proof that you can juggle it all: the work, the friends, the travel, the gym, the family, and still chase what's yours.
You don't love me anymore, it's okay, you can say it. I'm trying to pull my dolls out the basement. I'm trying to change the places and faces I frequent. I need a new girl on some freak shit. All that shit I bought, it's okay, you can keep it.
So the thing about one of the things that I knew that I had to have in a doctoral program was discipline. But you can't have discipline in just one area of your life. Your whole life has to be synced in with that discipline. Otherwise, you'll be seeking for motivation. You'll get out of bed and you're like, oh, I really don't want to do this. I got to figure it out. When I get up at 3 in the morning every day, 4 in the morning mostly. 3, like I said, it's really hard to do. But I get up at 4 in the morning. That's discipline. I usually hit the gym around that time, but today I was busy kind of writing out what I wanted to do for the series. So I knew I had to get to it in noon in the middle of the day, so I had to shift some things around. But I have a commitment to being better. But I can't have that commitment in just the PhD program. I gotta have that commitment everywhere. I gotta have that commitment in my relationship, commitment to my work life. It transfers. That's just like if you've never done a bench press before, that's fine. But you better at least have done some dumbbell pushes so that when it's time to push that barbell weight, you got a little bit of that stabilization. The problem is a lot of people, they wake up and they're like, oh, I'm gonna be a doctor. You ain't never had no discipline in your life ever. Something gotta change.
That's all I got. I just finished up a morning run, and really more like a morning jog. I am stiff, and I don't really run often, so I'm trying to, as I get up in age, like I'm 31. As I get up, I'm trying to like run a little bit more, do yoga, stretch a little bit more, just so when I get 70, I'm not. Um, but so yeah, I just finished a quick workout. It is Saturday morning, and I gotta hurry up and get out from up here so that I could go home, run a quick shower, and then I go to a part-time side hustle thing that I started during COVID. So funny, and I will explain more when I get there. But on the weekends, I worked at a party rental company, so we deliver bounce houses, popcorn machines, snow cone machines, um, bubble machines, water slides, all kinds of crap. Anything you could think of to get the party started, except stripper poles and margarita machines, because it's too much of a liability, and y'all be stealing people's stuff. Usually I get up and just go straight there, and I neglect workouts on the weekend. But I'm really, like I told you the other day, I'm really trying to dial down in my discipline in all areas of my life. So I got up this morning super early to make it to the track so that I can get a quick little run in, and then I can head over to go work. Now, some people are always like, T, when do you sleep? When do you rest? You're always working. I tell you, man, I know that we live in a capitalist society, and the best resistance against that, especially as a person of color, is to rest. I will tell you that I get in rest in pockets of time, and I love it. But for me, if I rest too much, I won't ever get anything done. I'll just be sitting there, doom scrolling or reading or writing or whatever. And all of that stuff is great. It's great to get lost into your hobbies and things that you love. But I know me, and I know I'll get addicted to all of that downtime. I need to be moving my brain to get shit done. I mean, just to keep it a book with you. So I am not overwhelmed. I'm not stressed out in that sense. I'm not like sad. I am having a really good time. So
I know, like, my friends and family, they'll always ask me, like, yo, how did you even get into bounce houses? And what, you're a dang doctor almost, and you're working at a party rental company. Yeah, and won't leave. I will not leave. I'm telling you, like, y'all gonna have to claw me away from that place because it's family at this point. But basically, I was looking for a little extra cash, and I was on Craigslist, because hey, that's the hack right there. You need a little break, Craigslist or Facebook or something. But I was looking for a little cash, and I got on Craigslist, and I seen that this bounce house company was looking for somebody with a truck. And I have a truck. I'm in my Challenger, but I also have a Dodge truck as well. And so I was like, oh, I got a truck. I don't really use it. What's the move? And they just like, we just need people to set up bounce houses. And I said, oh, that sounds easy enough. Man, I showed up on my first day. They put me to work right away just to see, like, what I can handle. I was like, man, this kind of hard, man. I was sweating. I'm drenched. We was, and my first day was like, not the 4th of July, but it was something real close to it. And so people was ordering a lot of bounce houses at parks. And so my first day on the job, I'm with a dude. He don't speak English. I don't speak Spanish. And he driving a stick shift while being on FaceTime. And I just was like, man, bro, I don't know if this is for me, man. But I stuck it out. I'm not a quitter. I stuck it out anyway. I needed the bread for whatever reason. And I was just willing to stick it out. So I started delivering just here and there, but it was still kind of hard. Like I was still trying to find my way. And so one day the manager was like, hey, you're really the only one that speaks like fluent English. Everybody else speaks fluent Spanish. Would you be interested in doing doing both, like delivering and working in the workshop to handle orders, talk to some customers, and just ultimately run our customer service operations out of our warehouse. And I said, man, hell yeah, man, what? So I switched roles. That was 4 years ago, by the way. But I've shifted roles and I do both now. Like sometimes I'll get out in the field and deliver, especially now that I know what I'm doing. And then, but more often than not, I'll probably be in the office, which works out for me because I get to uh, I get to do schoolwork while I'm there. So one of my greatest pieces of covered handouts to you is make your side hustles work for each other. So, for example, I knew that I had a high value. Well, at the time that I took the bounce house place, I wasn't a part time professor. I was just teaching, so it was easy for me to take that on full spot. Well, then I started working at Walmart, which we'll get to here in a little bit, and I put the schedules on polar opposites so that I could rotate through. Which I'm going to tell you the hours, and it's going to blow your mind. So when I started working for the bounce house company, that was right when COVID kind of was on it. It was kind of like warning us, like, okay, I got something for you. I got something for you. And, our government was ignoring it. But whatever. So I was vibing at the bounce house place. Well, then when COVID really hit, we of course had to close down the bounce house company for a little bit. And in fact, the owner of the company started a lawn company, which he still runs today. Which that's another reason I can't leave this bounce house place because I'm around like-minded people that are about the hustle life. Most of the people that I work with are men from uh, Latin countries, right? Just to kind of do an overarching grouping them all together. Um, and so that culture typically is a we on rock regardless. Like COVID, what sick, what like we, which sometimes is harmful. I thought I knew grind. I thought I was getting after it. When I started working around all these Mexican men, and they are actually from Mexico. That's important because a lot of y'all be saying Mexicans, hey, don't even know where people from. But we have one group that's from Venezuela. But so when I started working around all of these Mexican men, I just looked up to them and I said, okay, well, what hustle can I get? Because I really didn't want to be cutting no grass. Which is funny though because I did end up starting a lawn company after this. But anyway, I didn't want to cut no grass, so I was like, what other hustle could I do? So my half brother at the time was a manager up at a Walmart that was pretty close to the bounce house company. So I said, okay, I'm gonna try to get on there at night so that whenever the bounce house comes back, and if we're still virtual schooling, then I will go to work at night for Walmart, and then I'll get up in the morning and go to the bounce house company and work from there on the weekend. So that's exactly what I did. I started stocking biscuits at Walmart, 10 p.m. to 7 in the morning. I'm gonna try to drop a picture in here if I can find one. I had the biscuits and the milk, and sometimes I helped with cheese, but not always. The cheese wall, it was a guy over there that did the cheese wall. It was phenomenal. And he was an older guy. Again, like-minded people. He was only there just to pay down some credit card debt because they had just bought a house or something, or they were trying to buy a house or something. But like he was like a top engineer somewhere. Like he did not need Walmart. He just was hustling off Walmart. And so that's what I decided I was gonna do. I didn't need Walmart to pay bills or anything, but if I was off from, not off for real, I was still virtual schooling and teaching, like I got some free time, I'm gonna use it to hustle. That was just me. That was just my mindset. So I would go from 10 p.m. to 7 in the morning. I'm at Walmart. Then I would take a nap in the car, about a 50-minute nap in the parking lot of the bounce house company. And at 8 o'clock, I would walk through the door and do my day. And then when I got off, usually I got off at around 2 back then, I would go home and I would sleep until about 6. And then I would get up, eat, kind of get my mind rolling, get ready to go into work at 10 at Walmart. So when I tell you that I know hustle, bro, I'm not a stranger to any of this. I'm not a stranger to any of this. And I want you to think about if I had something to do that next day, like I was up pretty much all day. I was working, I was grinding all day.
Do you hate me? I guess. Toodles.
Don't make it a toodles.
It is a toodles because you just left
No,
for the whole day.
I thought
You was laying around still. You was asleep. Wasn't really thinking about what I had going on. And then
No, I was waiting on you to get back. And then I looked at the time. I was like, yeah, he gonna be late for work. So I looked at your location. Your ass is already here.
Remember that family part? Y'all remember that? Remember I said that part? And so right now I'm in the parking lot of a CVS. We've been riding all over town looking for a ruler. I know it's crazy. It sounds wild. There's no Walmart near us because again we live downtown. So we rode up to the Dollar Tree, and I'm just so disappointed in that Dollar Tree. Whoever owns that Dollar Tree, you will be getting an email from me because there's just no way. Then I asked the lady, "Hey, do y'all have any rulers?" And she was like, "Oh, we probably out." You ain't out no rulers. It's the summer. So we back up here at a CVS getting a ruler because my baby is also becoming a doctor, almost, kind of, sort of, in her own right. She is going back to school to become a physician's assistant in orthopedics. That's right, orthopedic surgery or something like that. She already has a master's in athletic administration and a bachelor's in athletic training. So she is an all around science nerdy, and I'm the humanities nerdy. Well, anyway, sometimes when we both of our schedules align and the stars are just right, we are able to study together. So as soon as she gets this ruler that she needs for a lab experiment, we are going over to somebody's coffee shop. I was supposed to go to my own coffee shop. Then I said, "Baby, come on down to the coffee shop with me." But then that coffee shop closed. It's 4:51 on a Friday. Coffee shops is turning it down. Once she comes out of there, we gonna hit a coffee shop, get a little studying in, a little wedding planning in, little parallel play. You know what parallel play is? Parallel play is like when you and somebody else are in the same space, but you're doing your own thing. That's like a term of intimacy, if you will. Not like that lovey dovey intimacy, but like a connection of sort, even though we're not necessarily doing the same thing. So we're gonna go to a coffee shop, get a little parallel play in. That's our form of intimacy for tonight. We won't be at no bar, no date night, all of that lovey dovey. Don't trip, because there will be time for that. There will be signs. But for right now, we gotta get this work done. So, she comes out with the ruler. I'm just saying, I should be like, huh? What? We successfully made it to our coffee shop, study spot, date night, study group, nerd session. I actually didn't get coffee because I had 2 cups this morning. I got a little limonada. And the girl here, my lovely fiance and soon to be wife, is sitting next to me, but she is not a camera girl. She's not a social media girl. So probably will never see her on camera. Another Hubbard handout. It's very important where you choose to study. So me personally, I like a good coffee shop. I'm not really tripping on the music because I'll just put some headphones in. I like a clean aesthetic. I like a little plants, a little greenery, a little sunlight. So I chose this spot. I've never been here before, and I might not ever come back. It's not that it's a bad spot. It's just some better spaces. And so I tend to hop around town just to see who's really got the vibes wise. And it's a little cold in here. I don't like that. I'm very sensitive. I'm a Taurus, so I'm strict about my 5 senses. So, what we gonna see. We gonna do what it do. It's really nice people here though. And the lemonade do kind of go hard. So maybe on like a hot day where I just want to come on down to the Piggly Wiggly, get a little limonada, I might do that. But paying for parking and fighting through the deep Ellum people just to sit down and
yo, I'm being made fun of for how I say iron, like the verb. Like you need to come in iron. How do you say it?
Iron.
Somebody needs to iron like that's
Iron.
iron.
Iron. That's what you just said.
Yeah, because it's too hard. Like my Texas flap in the back.
Don't say flat to me. Another option they gave me for a bouquet. I told it I didn't like Yeah. We just finished eating dinner and wedding planning just a little bit, just a teach. We try not to do it all at once because it can be frustrating and it can be tasking and it can kind of suck the fun out of the actual ceremony itself. So we're actually getting ready to do one of our winding down favorites now. I don't watch a lot of TV. I don't watch a lot of movies, none of that. But when it comes to getting into bed with my lady, she's a TV watcher. She gonna have some on the TV, and I'll probably do a little. So, um, I recently had surgery. Well, I say recently. So in the winter, I had surgery, and while I was recovering, started watching a show called Love After Lockup. And I ain't gonna lie, y'all, it kind of got me. Like I know some of it is scripted, but it kind of got me. So I said, "Hey man, I seen that everybody talking about Love After Lockup on TikTok. This one particular couple, can we watch it?" So we kind of started watching it. So she already got it queued up for me. I'm about to go in there and lay it down. I got to get up and get a workout in, go to work in the morning. A friend of ours is having a baby shower, and try to squeeze in some studying. So we're gonna get as much footage as we can tomorrow, but it's just gonna be another busy day. So thank you for joining me for day zero, round zero, and yeah, good night.